During 2020, it was not rare to read or hear about people who lost their jobs because of the pandemic. I was also scared that it would affect my possibilities of work at my part-time job, but since the internet shopping went up instead of down, there were plenty of work. So I worked for a clothing company, a designer brand, at their warehouse. It is a rather small company internationally. It has stores on selected locations and even one in the US, which is not very successful though. The image is that it's very environmental friendly, and even though they don't say it, I think most of the buyers would agree that the overall image is friendly and just simply nice. They use models of all races, sizes, and ages, and has been doing so even before it became a thing. However, on the inside, it's actually the total opposite. So before I go into all the details of how utterly rotten this company is and how I finally lost my job without knowing it, I want to explain my relationship to this company. I worked there for the first time in 2006. It was very rare and to begin with very easy tasks such as shipping catalogs to customers. I then went on to preparing orders, and from there I also had short-time employments at the returns department when the original staff went on maternity leave. I would sum it up as me being someone they could count on. I rarely turned work down, and I had also been trained in various departments and knew my way around. This company is divided between office and warehouse, which causes the staff to be very much divided. Both me and some of my former co-workers at the warehouse get the feeling that some of the office staff looks down on us and oversimplify our work. One example is that if anyone has dared to complain about anything regarding their work situation, they do not take it seriously. So last year there were issues with the documents needed when shipping items outside of Europe, and it became so much extra paperwork that the person in charge of this had to work overtime as well as take the work with her home, unpaid, to finish. Her complaint was not taken seriously by those in charge in the office. They rather just told her that there wasn't much they could do about it. When she went on vacation, someone from the office was put on the same tasks, and then things changed, because when he complained, it was taken seriously. This is just one of many similar examples, which proves that there is a hierarchy within the company and the staff. Besides this, at least in the warehouse department, bullying among staff wasn't uncommon. For example, if the people with some kind of power don't like someone, they will freeze them out and even talk badly about them openly during coffee breaks when the person in question isn't there. The atmosphere in general is very special. The humor is weird if you're not used to it. They use a lot of sarcasm, for example, and sometimes it can be rather rough. During my time there, I noticed some new part-timers will look really weirded out by these so-called jokes. There is also a homophobic environment. Gays are also openly joked about. So a couple of years ago, a new manager was assigned to the warehouse. My first impression wasn't bad, but that changed fast. It was clear that he wanted to show that he was in charge, even when not needed. My first bad impression was when I had been asked to do a certain task the following day. The exact time was not specified, just that I had to do it. I knew what I was doing, as that had been part of my daily tasks when working full-time, and that particular task is done in the morning because you need to make sure it is done before all the deliveries are picked up. So I did it, the first thing in the morning. While working, the new boss shows up, and without greeting me or anything, he simply asks what I am doing. I told him I was doing the thing he asked me to do, and his response was that he didn't tell me to do it now. I should not do anything until he says so. I said okay and went back to my other tasks, but I felt really weird about it, and almost as if he only made it such a big deal to show that he was the one in charge. This was my only experience with this behavior, but he has done it to others, as he doesn't take no for an answer. One example which stuck with me was when he assigned the two smallest girls to take care of all the heavy orders, despite one of them saying her arm was hurting. It just doesn't make sense why he would make that decision, other than because he could. It's just mean. He could have chosen stronger people, because there certainly were stronger staff than those two small women. He showed no compassion either to the one who said her arm was hurting from handling all the heavy items the previous day. He told her she should get a doctor's note then, which actually wouldn't have been possible without taking a part of the day off. So the thing I believe made him want to get rid of me from the start happened in May last year. I was booked 2 weeks, the last week in April and the first in May. To quote him, he said, "Let's start with 2 weeks." He has used this expression before, meaning I'm guaranteed 2 weeks, and if there's still work left, I can extend the 2 weeks if I want to. I got there and did what I was supposed to do. It was kind of a boring job, a lot of running back and forth, and this place is hot. They don't have any air conditioning, only coolers, which is not enough by far. It's only cool if you stand within a couple of meters of them, and this is a warehouse, so it's pretty big, and they have 2 coolers. So I became pretty annoyed, and then during my last week, I noticed that some people didn't have much to do. They literally spent their time talking to others or on their private phones. This pissed me off big time. They could and should have helped other departments when their other own tasks has been made, but no. They are too lazy, so while I run around like crazy, sweating my ass off, I see other staff members doing nothing. During the last 2 days of these 2 weeks, I decided I would go have a talk with the manager, but he was nowhere to be found. Also nothing new. They never announced if anyone in charge was going home early or to a meeting, so you never knew if you could get in contact. He never talked to me regarding the extension, so I actually worked the following Monday, but then I decided I would take a break because I was gonna come back during the last week of May for summer sales. And he never talked to me, so I thought he might have thought that the regular staff could handle the rest. The following week, I get a text from the person in the department where I helped out saying the manager had come to her on Tuesday asking where I was, and she told him I was home. He then claims that we had agreed on me working until the sales, in other words, for 1 month. The best part is that she also heard him say 2 weeks, and when pointing that out, he completely denied it. I felt very uncomfortable with this, the fact that he didn't contact me, which I think would have been the most normal thing to do if he thought I was supposed to be there. I guess I should have called him then, but unfortunately I did not. And the next time I met him during the sales, he was back to normal, didn't say anything about what had happened. A couple of weeks ahead, I'm talking to the woman who had texted me about how I hate that people, even those in charge, say nasty things about people behind their backs here. And even though the manager is weird, at least he doesn't do that, to my knowledge. She then tells me that she didn't tell me everything in that text. In fact, he actually also questioned why I couldn't work. I want to add that while working, I also completed my master thesis, because his daughter could both study and do her part-time job. But she's just a second-year student, though, completely different, but I guess he couldn't figure that out. So he was implying that I was lazy, and hearing this actually made me pretty sad. First of all, because he doesn't really know me. I'm not his daughter. Everyone does things their own pace. I also felt very stressed in general because of Corona and not being able to see my boyfriend in Japan. So I had a lot of things on my mind, which made me more depressed than normal, and therefore hearing this made me pretty upset, even though I didn't say anything. It triggered something in me, though. I did begin feeling like I couldn't give an F if he fired me anymore. Because it isn't a healthy environment. It is a toxic workplace, and I actually felt anxious going there. During the summer, small incidents happened, which I believe might have triggered his sick mind. One of them being that there had been a mistake in my schedule at uni, so they didn't contact me regarding my examination. I found out the day before, on a Sunday, so I emailed him explaining the situation and that I therefore would not come to work on Monday, but would be back on Tuesday. I also apologized. I got an okay back, and on Tuesday he didn't say a word, which to me was a sign that he was pissed. If he would have been in a good mood, he would have asked how it went. I worked from late May until September. In August, I had begun taking driving lessons, which he knew. He had also asked me if I would be able to work during the fall, to which I said yes. The last day I worked was the first week in September. Right before I was going home, I'm talking to one of the other staff members, and he comes by, asking if I could work the following Monday. I then say I can't, to which he replies, "You mean you don't want to?" And I replied no, but I have a driving lesson in the afternoon, and then I added as a joke, so then you have to pay me double, so that my time here will pay for my driving lesson. I had previously told him I really don't want to be tired during the lessons because it's a waste of money if I'm too tired to follow the lesson, and most importantly, you should never drive when tired, which he should know considering he has a driver's license. The thing which struck me as weird was that while I was talking, he turns around and walks away. Didn't say okay, bye, nothing. I think I heard him murmur something, but that's it. I went home and assumed he would contact me once they needed help in the future. Now, to some, my so-called joke might seem weird, but honestly, that's the kind of jokes all of the staff pulls. Kind of a sarcastic jargon. One which I found pretty offensive was told by the manager himself in the line to the coffee machine. Before him stands 3 of the staff members. One of them has a bit of a stomach, I will call him A, and they are all wearing black. The boss then says something along the lines of, "You're all wearing black, that's good to cover up if you're a bit round, wouldn't you say, A?" No one laughed at this, and A was offended, so he decided to confront the boss later, and he claimed it was a joke. You gotta be able to take a joke, and then he got pissed, saying that he won't talk anymore. And he ghosted A for a week because of this. True story. And this is the manager, so he should know how to take a joke, right? Well, not when others say them to him. I thought it was weird. In October, he still hadn't contacted me, so I decided to write an email. Politely, I asked how he was doing, and then added which days I could work until December. No reply. Then I knew something was off. I first considered contacting someone else and have them send my stuff because I didn't want to be humiliated by going back to pick my stuff up. But then I decided I would do it and confront him. So in December 2nd, months after I wrote my email, I went back to pick up my stuff. And I came just in time because he was having lunch. The lunchroom is right outside of the changing room, so I had to pass him to get to my locker. He sees me but doesn't say a thing. Weird, right? So I go in to pick up my stuff, took a deep breath, and then sat down next to him, asking if he had a minute to talk. He didn't reply, just removed his earphones. So I say I emailed, "How come you didn't reply?" And he immediately has this defensive voice and seriously says, "You have yourself to blame." And at this point, I seriously don't understand what he means. So I ask how so, and he replies, "You told me you wanted to be paid double." And then I'm basically boiling with anger. So I tell him that was obviously a joke. We were standing in the hallway, and you know I didn't want to take that shift because of my lessons. Like, which sane person would have done that? If I seriously wanted a raise, I would have asked to have a proper meeting with him. So since I knew this was it, I thought I would bring everything up. So I basically told him I didn't buy that. He just wanted to get rid of me because of this summer. How he thought I was just lazy and didn't show up, even though others had heard him say I would work for 2 weeks. And that he later went behind my back and talked badly about me with others in the staff. He denied it, so I told him straight up that I had heard it from the person in question, and that she tells everyone everything he says, so he can't deny it. He then said that he has the right to decide which staff is offered jobs and which aren't, to which I replied, of course, just as we have the right to turn down jobs as part-time workers. I kept pushing him to say that it was personal, but he wouldn't say it, so I told him that the company was built on trash-talking others, and then I told him goodbye and left. I was not ready just to leave it as it was though, so I contacted the person within the Human Resources section and basically wrote her everything and some more I have mentioned in this video. I got a lame reply saying she was sorry about it and she will let others in charge know about this incident. Then nothing. I didn't get an official apology, they didn't ask me any questions, nothing, which to me means they did nothing. He's still running around spreading a toxic environment with the others at that section. To be honest, it's not just him. Even people at the top of the company are spreading the same shit. This company has a long history of ghosting people, bullying staff until some even quit. I can't imagine working full-time there. Part of me thinks this was good, because then I finally got rid of them. But of course, one part of me thinks it was a loss, because it was a secure income for me. And perhaps most importantly, this hit me personally. I don't like being part of conflicts like this, and I think I did an excellent job, honestly. I have worked my ass off there, so I don't think I deserve this treatment. I still dream about it, and I hate that it has got to me. I wish I was strong enough to just brush it off, but I'm not. I thought actually talking about it would help me let it all go. I also want people to know about this, even though I don't mention their name. I think with some research, most can figure it out. People should stop supporting them because it is toxic, literally. Once they actually found that one of the scarves included chemicals which in the long run would be dangerous to breathe in, they took them out of stock and they were supposed to be sent for destruction but ended up standing in the warehouse for perhaps 6 months so the staff could breathe all that in. If anything, it bothers me that people can do whatever they please as long as they're in a managing position. This is not right. You can't use your power to belittling or silencing others. This might not seem like a big thing for many people, but to me this was the tip of the iceberg, because I've experienced this kind of bullying and ghosting happening to other people within the company for so many years. It's just in this video I brought up my story. I don't think I should be talking about other people. It's their stories to be told. I can just say that as a disclaimer that this is not the worst. I've experienced so many worse stories than this. It's embarrassing. And I think people should be more aware of how toxic this company is. And that was the goal with this video.